You are listening to INTERFORM Podcast with Ro on the radio. You're going to want to hear this.
Welcome to INTERFORM Podcast. It's me, your girl, Ro on the radio. And today's episode, we're going to be talking about hair. Can I touch your hair? Part 2. I've got Ashtone with me. Ashtone, let the people know who don't know you already what you do and like how important you are. Let's start there.
I appreciate that little plug. Yes. My name is Ashtone. I am originally from Little Rock, and I recently relocated to Northwest Arkansas as of August 2021. Yeah, we're in 2022, so yeah.
We're coming up on a year then.
Yeah, I am coming up on the year, and I'm trying to decide like what I want to do, and I know things will be different. I have been getting paid to touch people's hair for 11 years.
Wow.
And for me, that dips into high school a little bit. Then college, and so I did the college thing, graduated, and then I went to cosmetology school. I took my test the day of the shutdown, March 12th. 2021, March 12th. So I got out of school. They were like, oh, you passed. I was like, yay. And then I was getting text messages like, come and get your things out of your locker at school. So,
son of a fish.
I know. So officially licensed for 2 years. So it's been a great journey, and officially full-time for 2 years as well.
That's amazing. You got a lot of experience. That's why I wanted to have you on this episode, because when we talk about issues with black hair, I want somebody who has experience in it and is a professional, both, personally and professionally. Yeah. So I want to talk about your first experience. Maybe you were, a kid or maybe older. Like, what was your first experience with someone wanting to touch your hair, and how that impacted you or how that made you feel? How did you respond to it? I love that. I'm going to start with this. I love that my journey has been non-traditional. I had experience before I had formal education. And a lot of probably what we'll discuss today will be a little bit non-traditional as well. So I grew up in Little Rock, nice middle-class black neighborhood, like high schools, all of that stuff, but I've always been around diversity because I know how to play golf as well. Okay. And so my first experience was actually in the 7th grade, and I had 3 friends. It was another girl who was black, and then we had a white friend. And she asked us, we were in English class, and she asked us to touch our hair. She said, can I touch you all's hair? And friend and I looked at each other. And we said, yeah, sure. Okay. Now, thinking back on my journey, I think that was my first time in my life where I was really getting into the cosmetic field as well. So, like, I was doing nails first. So I was already doing nails and already kind of, like, in that sphere. And I'm probably going to talk about, like, my angle when it comes to things in education. Right. And so we said, yeah. And she touched it. She was very genuine. And she said, and it did not offend me. She said, oh my, she was really country. Like, she came from the country. First time lived in Little Rock. She said, it feels like sheep's wool. Lamb, whatever. And I was like, I didn't know how I felt about that, but I knew that everything else behind that was genuine, because she genuinely asked. She was just curious.
Both of us, and we were all best friends at the time. So that was my first time.
I think that's a good, it's not like a traumatic experience, because you had other people with you. It wasn't just you by yourself. You weren't kind of singled out. Like, my first experience, I went to all white schools like my entire life except for college. I went to HBCU. Oh, okay. But my first time, I didn't want the girl to touch my hair. I just didn't feel like I had a choice, because I was outnumbered. I was like the only black girl in my class. And it made me feel really alienated, and it made me feel, it pointed out the difference even more, because there was already a difference, obviously, but it pointed out the difference even more, and I felt like that was just like a right to her, because she was a white girl. So I felt like it was just her right. Like, I'm going to touch your hair. Can I touch your hair? Oh, it feels so fuzzy. Or it feels...
language.
Yeah, it's the language. It was definitely a little bit kind of... I think my first time was a little bit damaging. I feel like if I would have had, other friends with me, and we could have confirmed with each other like you did with your friends, like, yeah, I guess it's okay.
But also, like, you got to understand, it was 2 black girls and a white girl. Right. Other friend could have said no.
That's true.
She could have said no.
That's true. Ashtone, do you think you still would have said yes? Yes.
If you would have been by yourself, you think so?
If I was by myself, or if other friends said no.
Yeah.
If she said no, I probably would have said yes, because up until that point, and I was listening, as I was prepping for the show, I was listening to you and Montanique's, things that you all were saying, and kind of, my reflection of things as well. Up until that point, I don't think anybody had ever asked to touch my hair.
Really?
Black or white. If you were touching my hair, you were intentionally touching my hair because you were supposed to be.
Right.
I had never been at a point where people were just touching my hair. So I think maybe that's why that sticks out to me the most.
Right.
But again, she was genuine. I'm going to say more of it was intimate.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't like in the middle of the class. Like, I think we were working on some worksheets or something, and we started talking about it. So the intent behind it was just a little bit different.
Yeah, I could feel the experience with you. Hers feels like she was genuinely just curious. Like, she didn't mean any intent. I felt like the girl with me was more like a, like, let me touch your hair type.
By the way.
Yeah, by the way. And then I think at work, like some of the workspaces I've worked at have been predominantly white. I'll have my hair like this one day, and then I'll have braids the next day. And there's always that one person who says, wow, did your hair grow overnight? Or like, and I just want them to know how that sounds. Like, does that sound logical? There's other things that you could say. Like, has that happened to you, like in the workspace?
Okay, so let's talk about workspaces. I've always been in my own workspace.
See, you had that luxury.
But background on myself, my mom comes from corporate America. She's 20 plus years in the real estate game. If she could wear a suit and tie every day, she would, like we still in 1980. My dad, he's worked for the railroad, so it's a little bit different. But
the railroad, they get paid.
You know, a lot of people say that, but looking back, Daddy was handling his business. Thanks, Dad. I love you. You better handle your business before you call me. I grew up in a professional household, and that's what I'm trying to say. So I always knew, like, how to do different things. So when I worked, even my little part-time jobs, and I still pick up part-time jobs because this is a wavy industry, it's never been like that for me. Okay, but now in my workspace, and like specifically where I am now, I love the space that I'm in. I love the salon. I'm in a suite, but it's like 8 stylists there. They do touch my hair. I allow them to touch my hair. Okay. It is a educational environment. Okay. They have never seen the styles. They have never seen the work. These women are vets. All of these in one man, they are all vets. I respect them highly. Right. But they have never seen what I've done. And when I came in there, they do say that to me. But it's genuine. We're all in the same industry. I understand that it's coming from, on my end, an educational standpoint. Even when I was in cosmetology school, we would talk about different things. Now, there it wasn't, I just didn't let people touch my hair. But I told them in the suite that I'm in now, I said, y'all are going to see me change my hair probably about every month and a half. Depends on what I'm doing. Yeah. You know?
I like the heads up, though.
Yeah.
I feel like that could help. Like, maybe if we prep them ahead of time. Not saying that anyone has to do that, but I think it does help for people to know what to expect, who maybe haven't, because there are some people that you work with that have never been around Black people. So you are introducing them to like a new experience, and it's important to, in some cases, keep a safe space so that they can feel comfortable, I guess, asking questions and not fearful, and then maybe say the wrong thing. Like, oh, your hair is so fuzzy. Like,
verbiage. I always talk about verbiage. One thing I think about when you said that is the different kind of workspaces, right? So specifically, the workspace you're in and the people that you're around, it's more diversity. And, the person next to you might have green and purple hair all within, the same 6 months. And so just not asking you, but kind of a rhetorical question. Do we make general conversation about it? Do we say, I just found myself looking at my next hairstyle? Yeah. Generally, just to kind of put it out there. But then I think about my clients. I have professional clientele, even the ones that aren't professional, young Black professionals that may change their hair a few times a year, but they'll work at Walmart or something.
Exactly.
Do I make it a safe space? Okay, let me ask this. Do we make it a safe space to talk about hair?
No, I feel like it depends on the situation. I feel like in the workplace, some people don't really have the filter that they need to have.
Okay.
And because they haven't been around black people, they don't know what's acceptable and what's not. Or if they have been around a black person, excuse me for saying this, I'm just going to say it. It wasn't a real black person. Like, it's the black person that is cool with you saying the N-word.
Oh my God.
Or is cool with certain things. Like, you know the difference between like a black person and like a black person. So they've been letting it slide their whole life, so they don't know what it's like. They don't know that certain things are offensive. So
I think
maybe
it boils down to professional development.
Yeah. Okay.
Put it into professional development. No, you can't talk about it.
Okay.
And if I talk about it, bring it up. But
That's
different. I don't know. I just know people feel so different. And just sitting here listening to you talk about things, your background behind it and my background, I see that mine is different. And a lot of people are always like so shocked about that. But for me, it's just always been the way it has been, you know? And so I'm just like, I don't know. I think it's just really intent. Again, like I said, I've always come from an educational standpoint because this is just my lane and this is what I do and I love it and you need to know about it anyway. So I'm okay with things.
So you make it a safe space for people.
And I make it a point to talk about it.
Do you think that this is something we need to include, or maybe corporate America needs to include in their like HR workspace? Because it's like there's certain things you can't talk about, right? You can't talk. It's probably not a good idea to talk about politics in certain workspaces. Obviously, sexual harassment. I mean, do we get as
cultural
granular?
differentiation?
There we go. That would go under cultural differentiation, right? Like, do we get that granular and start including like, you know, hair talk?
Yes. Because I mean, do you just go up and say, "Why are you wearing that hijab?"
Yeah, that's inappropriate.
Do you go up and just say, why your braids so long? You know, if you maybe come from a Pentecostal
background. Is that your real hair or?
So like, that's in where I come from. That's the exact same thing. So if you had a chart, you talk about religion, you talk about whatever
politics,
you know, like, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you bring that up. Don't question it, and you don't have to say. You know, and we know behind closed doors it'll be like, now, you know, sometimes black women don't like to talk. And that's not there. You say, if you notice a coworker may have changed their hair looks or changed any kind of physical appearance, you know, don't always make it a point to talk about it.
Yeah, you could just say your hair looks nice. You don't have to say.
You don't have to say anything.
Because
what happens is every time I change my hair, you make it a point to say my hair look nice.
Yeah.
So when you come in those first 2 weeks and you get your training and we go into after sexual harassment and after Title IX and after, you know, whatever it is, and you get to cultural differentiation,
it should
you
be
say,
in there.
So, you know, something like I just said, like it doesn't have to, again, you have to be careful with how you say it, but yes, we add it in there.
Yeah, it should be. I think we should make it a point. I'm pretty sure, I mean, after this amazing podcast episode, they will. But
we'll send y'all our invoices.
You're right.
It'll be one invoice.
Now let's talk about chemical relaxers, right? Yes. So the first documented chemical relaxer in history was like in 1909 by Garrett Augustus Morgan. Now, back then, we straightened our hair to assimilate, right? Like we couldn't get a job if our hair wasn't straight. Certain black people were treated better with straight hair than with like natural hair. So fast forward to today, why do you think it's not the same, but we still have like a preoccupation or, you know, a focus on hair, about the texture of our hair. This is good hair, this is not good hair. What are your thoughts on good hair? Did you have experience with that as a child? Because like me personally, my personal experience was if I didn't have my hair relaxed in the back, like my kitchen was nappy, then it meant that my family was poor and that we couldn't afford to get my hair done. And I don't think that's the same way now, because I'm a lot older than you. But
girl, we're still like, millennials.
What was your experience with that? Like when you were growing up, was it you always had to have your hair done, or
going back to
now that I'm older, I realize not everybody grew up like me. Okay, I grew up in blacker than black Little Rock. Like I just, my hair was done. Yes, I had a relaxer, and yes, you know, I had all those things. My mom totally took care of how she looked again, professional background. So we always wanted to look decent. So it was not a negative thing. I remember the first girl who went natural in our high school. I think she did it like junior year. We were like, girl, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? And she was like, just wait. And her hair is gorgeous. I went natural 2017 because I actually wore a short pixie cut for like 10 years. So I was having to relax my hair anyway in order to make it look good. 2017, so I was junior year of college, so I transferred to UCA is when I went natural.
Now, what does being, because some people may not know what going natural means. Like, what does it mean if a black woman says, I'm going natural and her hair's relaxed? What does that mean? So you can explain it to the audience, because sometimes they don't know what going natural means.
Oh Lord. Let me
me
not give stylist talk.
Yeah.
Hold on.
To me, it means you cut off the parts of your hair that are chemically straightened.
Okay, this is what I was actually about to say. You have 3 parts.
Oh.
Okay. We have relaxed. We have transitioning, and we have natural.
Okay.
You
chop.
Well, that's the fine line, because you said cut it off. You don't have to cut it off. You can grow it out, which is transitioning. So relaxed is chemically straightened hair. Transitioning is the process between going from chemically straightened to hair to not chemically straightened hair, going from the straight hair to whatever your natural curl pattern is.
Right.
So what that may look like for people is straight on the ends and curly in the middle.
Right.
It could be half and half. It is where, for some women, if this makes sense, you grow out your new growth. And so you don't have to big chop. A lot of women think you have to. You don't have to. You have tons of styles you can do. Just find a stylist and talk to your stylist.
Ashtone Dixon.
About what your goals are. And then natural is generally is no chemicals on your hair, because you can be natural, but then you still have color or highlights on your hair. So that's still chemical, but technically it's no
straightener.
Yeah, chemically, no curl altering chemicals. Because you can have a relaxer, you can have a protein treatment, you can have a keratin treatment. And
you went natural in 2017?
Yes.
And how was that journey for you? When I went natural, everybody thought I had breakup hair because I just got divorced. And they thought that I had cancer. Not laughing at anybody with cancer, but I'm saying, like, that's the extreme that, people go to. It's like, oh my gosh, what happened to your hair? Do you have cancer? Like, do you have breakup hair? Is everything okay? And I'm like, well, actually, I did have breakup hair, but. You had breakup hair?
No, this was not breakup
Okay.
hair. I had crisis hair, I think.
Oh.
I had crisis hair.
Okay.
So I went to a stylist to get a wig made. She made it too small. I have a big head, and she did not measure my head. She made it on the styrofoam cap, and I needed like the styrofoam head, and those are like a 21. Did that on Tuesday. Kind of big chop, but I was growing it out, so all I had was like an inch of straight hair left.
Oh, okay.
Cut that off, put the wig on, went to UCA on Thursday. The wig was so tight on my head because it was too small. I cut it off. Saturday, took my hair down, threw some box dye on it, and was wearing it natural. I think also at that point I realized that I am my biggest billboard as well, so I was okay with going natural. And when I do my twist outs, I still do twist outs today. One of my recent videos, marketing videos that I did for my Sip and Slay that's coming up on August 14th. I wore my natural hair. And I did my little coils or whatever. So it was fun. The journey was fun. No one questioned it. I was around different kind of people once again, so everybody kind of understood.
That makes sense. It matters your situation, and it matters like your environment and who you're around. Well, okay, so there's been some recent news about chemical relaxers and just chemicals in general that cause uterine fibroids in Black women. I'm one of those women. I mean, I don't have a uterus anymore, thank God. But my hair was chemically relaxed 90% of my life, and then I ended up having like 7 uterine fibroids. Because at first they couldn't figure out, why do Black women have more uterine fibroids than any other race of women? And that they've recently linked this, you know, in a recent study in Essence magazine. So what are we doing? I feel like hair technology has evolved so much, obviously since the 90s, but even just since in the last 10 years, to where if we want a straight look, we don't have to use chemical relaxers. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's beyond relaxers. I think we touch our hair the most.
We do.
We're putting the most into our bodies if we just look at hair. So when we say that about relaxers, I do say, okay, yes, relaxers. But then I also say a lot of my clients come to me and prefer that I use the Walmart dye than my professional dye.
Real? Why?
I say, because it's what they're used to.
Ah, okay.
It's what they're used to.
Okay. Do you feel like they do it at home and they're like, I know it's ain't me messing up. Maybe if she does it, then I can see the right way to do it.
No, these are clients that have gone to stylists that are doing this.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so strange to me.
And so let's talk about this specifically with hair dye, right?
Yeah.
So when stylists say don't put box color in your hair, this is anything
I've
at
heard that
home,
before.
anything non-professional.
Okay.
It's because a lot of times they have harsher metals, aluminum, whatever else to hold onto your hair. That's why clients like it, because they feel like they don't have to keep putting it on. Professional color is made to move. It's made to do what you want to. So yeah, you may be able to go, you were natural. So let's say right now you're like, I think in the next 2 years, I might want to try to do some blonding. Or if I had a client that is going gray and she's like, what can we do? I'm like, we can start adding color. If she's natural, it will be easier to add color to her than if she's been dyeing her hair for however long she has been.
Oh, okay.
And so professional color is made to move. So going back to, it's not just relaxers, it's chemicals in general.
Yeah.
It's our stuff. I'm not saying like, boycott the Black hair products. What I'm saying is, don't just think it's relaxers.
Right.
Because you're relaxing your hair, but you're putting that color on your hair every 2 weeks as well.
Also, we're not doing it correctly. We're not going to professional stylists. We're doing it at home.
Yeah.
We're doing it the night before
That's
Easter.
a whole nother,
You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not applying it the correct way. So of course there's going to be some mistakes that happen along the way, because we're too cheap to go to a
dollar
stylist.
store.
Facts. We're too cheap to go to a stylist. So it's like, I can do your hair. Your mama been doing your hair for 10 years. So let me, you ain't going to no
I've been
stylist.
using this. Well, I use this. I'm trying not to use names just in case this comes back. Product name just in case this rolls around during my next journey. But
yeah.
I use this petroleum-based whatever since I was 16. Why my hair not growing? Because your pores clogged.
Your pores? Bless them.
You know, and I just talk to my clients. I just talk about everything that's been going on, whatever, just to kind of let them know that, one, I kind of know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And two, I want you to think about, the back and forth and what's going on. So
yeah,
I think it's beyond the relaxer. I really do.
I think you're right. I'm gonna say user error is gonna be.
Well, when you say it black,
because I don't think my mom put my perm on correctly. Like, she put it on my entire head, and I don't think you're supposed to. And it was just when it wasn't, because I think you're supposed to wait 6 weeks in between relaxers. She put it on whenever, just whenever. So I think I'm gonna go with user error on my end as far as the reason for that. Now, what are some things that you want people to know about Black hair that they may not know, or they may think they know, but they really don't know? Because like what you just said about chemicals and relaxers in general is profound. So what do you want people to know that they may not otherwise know about Black hair?
I'm getting cold. I'm sorry if I'm shivering on TV. I feel like I'm doing like my neck shaking. Yeah.
That hair is right on me too.
I want people to know that Black hair is hair. I want people to know that hair is hair. And I'm speaking from the person who has never touched their hair to the stylist of 30 years who probably still has never touched a Black person's hair.
Correct.
Hair is hair.
Yeah.
That's what I want people to know.
Yeah.
And so I think once we understand that and not think it's just like this huge foreign ordeal, it's not like sir, ma'am, you realize I've been changing my hair 6 times a year since I've been 7?
Wow.
So that's back to, let's count that. Maybe. Back to school, Easter. Christmas.
Yeah.
Easter.
Yeah, Easter's the one.
I may do 1 or 2, let's do 2 things in the summer. Birthday.
Braids. Oh, gotta have a new one for your birthday.
It may be vacation.
That's right.
And that's us as adults right now.
Yeah.
It may be more or less when I was younger. When we were between like 16 and 21, we was probably changing all the time. That's what we do.
I was too scared to change my hair.
Really?
Yeah.
I remember one of my first jobs. I was getting paid cash at the hair store.
Yeah.
And I had a stylist every 2 weeks.
Really?
Yes, I was wearing quick weaves too.
Okay, I remember quick weaves. Yeah.
Yeah, my quick weaves last a month though now, so it's not just 2 weeks.
Oh, come on. I like that it's just hair, because I've heard white people say things like, I wish my hair did that. It's like, y'all wear wigs too. You wear extensions, you wear lace fronts. Like,
oh my gosh.
Anything
you keep bringing up all of my high topics.
Anything we can do with our hair, you can do with your hair. I want you to know that. Like, the Kardashians wear lace front wigs and all kinds of stuff. So
I think something I wanted to mention earlier, but I didn't want to cut you off, was verbiage. I think I said something about that.
Yes.
Can we please, again, stop making everything such a huge ordeal? My hair isn't super, super, super curly. It's like super. My daughter's hair
curly
is super, super. What'd you say? Frizzy. You said frizzy earlier.
It's so fuzzy.
Fuzzy.
Yeah.
Negative connotations. Okay? I'm going to say a word that I do not say. Nappy.
Ooh.
I don't say nappy. I don't say nappy behind the chair. The only time I say nappy is when I tell people to stop saying nappy. I don't care if you black, white, whatever you are.
Yeah.
So the verbiage, and I tell other stylists this when they come to me for different trainings and things. One of the first things I say is, hair is hair. You are a professional, and you're going to do what you need to do.
Absolutely.
So quit this. When people hear that, you're like, hey, hi, my name is whatever my name is. I would love to do your hair. Well, can you do my kind of hair? Sometimes we have to be careful with that too. Can you do my kind of hair?
We do that.
And it's like, yeah, well, all you have to say is, yeah, I do hair types of all kinds, from straight to kinky curly. Just say what it is. Don't say super tight, super hair. Duper. Yeah, I do black hair. I have black clients of all kinds. I have clients with all kind of textures of hair. So
like that.
We have to be careful with that verbiage. Fuzzy,
yeah,
puffy, frizzy, super.
So what happens when you straighten your hair? That's another thing. Also, and this is gonna be my last. This is gonna be my last thing, and we'll go because we're running out of time. I'm like flying. I have noticed that I get attention from different men.
Me too.
With different hair. Like when I wear a long straight wig, I get more attention from white men. And then when my hair is like this, I get more attention from black men. It depends. Sometimes the black men like the long straight hair because they think you mixed or something, which is a whole nother topic as far as like colorism. But I have noticed that when I change my hair, I get attention from different men. You notice that? So when your hair is like this,
I didn't notice it till I moved up here. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't notice it till I moved up here.
Really?
Yes.
Because you grew up like with a diverse area.
Yeah. So it's just if you liking what you see, you just liking what you see.
Right.
And I think that just comes with our general ideas of beauty. And so once the entire world and in my industry starts allowing black beauty to be just as common as European looks, then the world will be better. And when I say that, I mean my industry, from theater to runway to TV to everything. There are black stylists that don't know how to do natural hair. That don't know, like generally don't know how to go from a non-wet. So I'm not saying dry as in it not being moisturized, but if you came in right now to a photo shoot, there are black stylists that would not know how to get that texture back.
Wow.
Or style it.
I've noticed that on the runway too, like just with modeling and with fashion shows. Thank God we had you for Fashion Week. But there are like models can do tons of runway shows and not meet one stylist that knows how to do black hair.
I recently saw something, I don't remember what it was, that said the reason that black models on runways normally have short hair is because their hair can't get done.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because they were African, it wasn't because they were cultured, it was because their hair could not be done.
Absolutely.
So when are we going to start hiring? It matters.
It definitely matters.
If the acting industry can say, I need a middle-aged black woman with this color hair, this, that, and the other, why can't we say you need to be able to do skin tones, skin types, hair textures of these specific backgrounds for this specific type show?
To work at Fashion Week? Like,
To work,
like,
everywhere.
There's New York Fashion Week hairstylists that don't know how to do black hair.
And what I'm saying is New York Fashion Week
They
needs
need
to
to be
put
able-
on that
absolutely.
casting that if you don't know how to do these things, when they come in for a trial, you need to be looking, do they have a rat tail comb? Do they have edge control? You need to bring your entire thing to
Absolutely.
weed them out.
Yes.
Because sometimes I don't even bring a round brush. But I'm going to still do that blowout. I'm going to still give you a blow, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it just...
We'll get there.
We got to step it up.
We'll get there. But that is INTERFORM Podcast. Can I Touch Your Hair Part 2?
Yeah.
You can tell them where you can be reached.
On
Instagram
and Facebook are my two main social media platforms. You can look me up by searching ASHTONE, and both of my pages will pop up.
Absolutely. And I'm Ro on the radio. You can catch me on Instagram. It's RO_on the radio, all one word. And make sure you check out our website. It's interform.art. Thank you so much, Ashtone.
Thanks.
You are listening to INTERFORM Podcast with Ro on the radio. You're going to want to hear this.